The conflict I tend to find between the two generations tends to be the idea of self-entitlement, specifically for the younger generations. So when I say that, a lot of our, baby boomers, Gen Xers, they all feel like, hey, I worked to get to this level. I worked hard. I worked for years. Then you have, I would say the younger generation who feel like, well, I don't need to do that. I already have it. So while you did it, you worked harder, not smarter. I don't need to. And as a result, you have, this revolving door of, the younger generation feeling like, hey, I'm not really going to find my mark here. So they get up and leave when in actuality, they very much could have, made a mark here, but they probably did maybe not need 10 years, but maybe they needed another year. And then on the other hand, you have, the continuous stigma of the older generation feeling like, see, they're not going to last, so why should I even invest my time? Why should I even invest my energy? And then what that really creates is really, I would say, a lack of a pipeline of talent. You have a number of people at these CEO levels who are probably going to retire, within the next 10 years or less. And there's nobody that's really going to be able to take their place to kind of continue through the ranks because people are just leaving. There was a time when, you would be at a company 5 plus 10 years. Now, for some reason, the younger generation feels like 2 years is enough or 1 year is enough. I need to just be there for 1 year, keep it on my resume, and then I don't have to answer to it in the interview as to why I was there for less than a year. What I would say is, right out of college, I worked in a defense industry. I worked there for 4 years, and I had a great time. That was because they were developing my career. They paid for my MBA. It was great. I decided to shift to Pepsi because, hey, it's Pepsi. I left my other company on good terms, so I felt like if I wanted to go back, I could. And then I've been with Pepsi for almost 5 years. And again, great experience, great development. They're providing everything that I need. What I would say is, you got to be very careful about jumping ship because you feel like you shouldn't have to do the work. Because when you do get to another company and you haven't really put in the work that you probably should have before you got that job, which they don't really know what you did. They're kind of like rolling the dice on you. You may find that you're in a position where you don't have the experience that you need to set yourself up for success. And as a result, you fail. So a lot of times, we promote people very quickly. We really depend on our campus folks pretty heavily. But sometimes the issue is like we promote them so quickly that we've set them up for failure. We didn't let them have enough time in the job to really, I would say, lap their results. But we were afraid that they were going to leave us, so we promoted them. And now they're in a place where like we either have to manage them up or manage them out. And 9 times out of 10, they're not performing where they need to be, so we have to manage them out. And that's unfortunate for everyone because if they were receptive to the feedback that, hey, you're not quite ready, but these are the things that you can establish, and this is how we as a company are going to help you get there because we owe that to you. And then you are receptive to that feedback, then we have a pretty good partnership. But I do find a lot of the times the younger generation, which I'm actually a part of, I'm just on the older side of the spectrum, I do find that they don't believe what they're hearing. They're so used to also seeing potentially their friends move on so quickly, and they're monitoring and managing their performance against their friends. And as a result, like I said, they're setting themselves up for failure. So I think, you have to walk that fine line. You have to kind of know what experiences you need to get. You also have to understand your experiences may not always be linear. And when I say that, it may very well be that you do a role that's the same level as the role that you just came from, but there's a critical experience that you can get out of that to help you transcend yourself to the next role. It doesn't have to be like I'm going from level A to level Z, and that's the only way I'll take a new role. So I think those are the things that, I seem to find the disconnect. I don't have these issues with the older generation. Like they get that. It's really the younger generation that I have to almost sell them the dream every time to kind of walk them off the ledge. And sometimes I'm successful and, sometimes I'm not. But at the end of the day, I don't take it personally because their journey and their career is very much that it's theirs.